Here it is. Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's finally here. All 4 hours of it. There's the exciting title card of Cyborg just sitting at a table, looking miserable. Perfectly encapsulates probably the mood Zack Snyder had when he tried to make this originally. Obviously, there was the tragedy we all know about, and all the controversy around it, all the geek talk. But all that's aside, it's finally here. Here it is. And we couldn't have a more perfect image to encapsulate the feeling of the entire DCEU, really. And that's Cyborg sitting at a table, looking depressed. Anyway, I'm going to do a little review here. No spoilers. I'm going to do spoilers later on, I think, in the review. So we'll do a quick talk about what it's like and what it is. This is the aspect ratio that you're seeing here. It fits on the screen a bit better, actually, than normal stuff. But yeah, so that's your aspect ratio of the film. You get used to it, I'll be honest. It annoyed me at first, just as soon as I put it on. But I genuinely had forgotten about it, probably within about a minute. So, don't know what that says about my brain. Anyway, it starts, obviously. We've got it's a different beginning. I just want to quickly talk about kind of how this rolls in straight from Batman v Superman, like immediately. In the same way that Batman v Superman rolled straight into that film from Man of Steel. There's like overlap scenes. It makes the whole thing feel like a bit of a longer kind of worldview of the DCEU. And so strangely enough, I was saying this to a friend, and strangely enough, it feels like this has sort of made Batman v Superman a little bit better, even though I will be the first to admit I utterly hated Batman v Superman. However, I probably won't ever watch it again. However, this film somehow drags that one out of the grave of Superman and brings it into some kind of coherence with the rest of this DCEU idea that Zack Snyder had that they just took away from him. So here we have it finally, and I'll be honest, this is an excellent film. It's an excellent achievement, a stunning achievement actually. Amazing that we were actually finally allowed to have this, that he got the time to finish post-production on all his footage that he'd filmed. It really does. I'll start now. I'm just going to say a few things around the issue. It does say, it says to me when you actually watch, because there's a lot of things we could talk about, obviously, that aren't spoilers, because we've already seen this film before, technically, in Joss Whedon's Justice League. So there's some things we can talk about, really, in certain scenes. And so this creates a feeling that when you remember Zack Snyder's, Joss Whedon's Justice League, you think to yourself, why? Like, why did he do any of the stuff that he did? Why did he CGI the moustache off Henry Cavill's face? There's absolutely no point to it. Because there are scenes in this film that you think, there's a scene at the farm. That's the famous scene in the film, in Justice League, the original one, with Cavill's moustache was, I believe it was one at the farm when he was talking to his mother and talking to Lois Lane. And then there was one at the beginning, obviously, with the camera footage that the kids are filming him. Don't know why that was in. Utterly pointless. I don't know why Joss Whedon decided to drag people back and CGI this moustache off Henry Cavill's face just to have a few extra lines of dialogue in the farm scene when he's talking to Lois Lane. When you see it in this scene, in this film, the scene is absolutely fine. I really don't know why the CGI business happened. Anyway, that's just a small aside. It does shed a lot of light on the process when Joss Whedon came on board, and it does make you think, why did he do any of the stuff that he did when he had essentially a full film, a 4 hour film? He had 4 hours worth of footage. He probably had 100 hours worth of footage, and he couldn't find. He had to bring people back for reshoots. I mean, whatever, mate. Whatever. This this film now, watching it, and it's finally here. It is an outstanding achievement. I've got to say, I'd give a round of applause to Zack Snyder. I'm not a massive fan of Zack Snyder. In fact, I am in a weird way. There's films I like of his. There's Dawn of the Dead and 300, Watchmen. I think they're all very good films. And then I Sucker Punch and a few other things, and Batman v Superman I didn't like. It took me a long time to like Man of Steel, and there's a bit more credibility to that film, and like I said originally at the beginning, Batman v Superman. It adds a little more cred. Man of Steel has grown a bit more in my mind over the years. I like it more, mostly because I like Henry Cavill. There's things in it, as we discussed with Batman v Superman. There's loads of things in that we hate, or a lot of people hate. I do anyway. However, now this is out, his completed vision, in a way, and it makes all of them a lot better. It raises all of them, the previous two films, and pretty much anything that's connected to the DCEU at this point. But this is a very good film. I liked it a lot. I like having long films. The more you give me, the better. I really, especially with stuff like this. This feels like Watchmen. This is the Watchmen of, like, the definitive cut Watchmen, the one that's like really long. This is his version, but for Justice League, and you can really tell the weight and characters. Everything is dealt with much more of a respect. There are quite some excellent scenes in this, and the time that's spent to build it all up. Obviously, you have a lot of time when it's 4 hours. There is parts in the film when you're thinking, this could have been trimmed down, this scene. There's a lot of padding. Not padding, that's the wrong word to say. There's a lot of time spent in certain scenes where you think there's no reason for him to have had that shot where he walked over to the table. He could have trimmed 5 seconds off this film. And there's a lot of shots like that, a lot of scenes like that. But overall, it really gives a sense that you're not in any rush. There were times in this film when I flicked my mouse just to see the menu bar, just to see the progress bar, just to see how far into the film I was and how long was left. And there were many times I did that and just burst out laughing. I just started laughing because I was nowhere near halfway at certain points. There is the part in the original Justice League where Wonder Woman's introduced, and there's that scene where Bruce Bolton is trying to blow up a bank or something. I don't know. That scene feels like, in the original, it felt like that was about 5 minutes into the film. When we get to that scene in this film, that's the first time I flicked the mouse to see how far into the film I was. And it was half an hour in, and I had hours and hours left to go. There are many times I did that and just started laughing because there was so much time left. Just skipping, and no spoilers. I'll be careful about spoilers, but there is an epilogue at the end of this film, and that's one of the times where I flicked the mouse, and I had 25 minutes left to go or something like that, and I just started laughing. This is, but yeah, it's I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed it. The time that's spent on all this stuff, on the characters and the building of the world, it really adds a lot of weight to the story, and a lot of gives a lot of credibility to this world, to the EU, the DCEU that they've created. That is probably dead now. Who knows? I mean, we don't know where we are with it right now. The thing is, I like Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot. I like them all as those characters. Uh, Jason Momoa as Aquaman. Yeah, they're all very good. Ray Fisher as Cyborg, whatever. He's very good in this, though. There's a lot more focus on his character in this. You can see why he was so annoyed with Joss Whedon's Justice League, because this he's as much of a character in this film as Batman. He's a bigger character than Superman in this film. He has more part. So I understand a lot of the issue he had with it. However, there was a lot of obviously behind the scenes stuff and all the allegations he's made about Joss Whedon and various other things. I'm not even going to go into that. But I can understand why he probably thought that I was a big part of this film and now I'm nothing and I look like a CGI Joker idiot. Not the Joker, but a CGI idiot with a face just on a metal body. Not that he looks particularly much better in this. There's something that is better about it, though. All the CGI in this is stellar. Absolutely outstanding. Obviously, they've had the entirety of lockdown to work on it. All these CGI guys. We've obviously all seen a bunch of different trailers. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. All the different redesigns of characters. Steppenwolf. They're all very good. It all looks like it belongs in this universe now, and it doesn't look stupid. So that's a bonus, I guess. So yeah, what else? I'm going to try and just kind of just talk around a few things before I kind of talk about the main film. As I said, I don't want to give spoilers, but let me see. What else am I thinking? What else? The the way they treated the death of Superman in this is a lot better. It's a massive part of the film, and I mean, I won't go into full detail, but there's a lot more build up to and a lot more repercussions to his death than there was in the original Justice League. And as I said, going through the whole film in general, the end fights, things like that, I don't know whether to say this now, but it is a spoiler in a weird way. It's obviously, if you've seen trailers of Darkseid in the film, he is heavy. There is some Darkseid stuff in this film. He's in it more than Thanos is in the first Avengers, let's just put it that way. But Zack Snyder, with his confidence, has set up sequels to this. So just think of it along those lines with regards to Darkseid. He is in the film a fair amount. You see him a fair amount. However, Steppenwolf is the bad guy. Just leave it there. In the same way Loki was the bad guy in Avengers and Thanos was in it. As I said, Darkseid is in it more than Thanos was. A hell of a lot more. But Steppenwolf's the bad guy. So let's just leave it there. That's as far into spoilers I'll go at this point. However, yeah. I'm actually I'm still trying to process a lot of the feelings I've got about this because I watched it last night in one block pretty much. It took me about 4.5 hours, the 4 hours of it. And it's, as I said, it's like watching the big edit of Watchmen. And it has a lot of weight. It looks like it. Obviously, it's Zack Snyder's vision, his cinematography. That's what I think makes a cohesive unit out of all these three: the Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and this. It makes them into a more cohesive unit because the vision is there, cinematography's there, the pacing, the editing, all it is Zack Snyder. It's really noticeable when you watch Justice League, the Joss Whedon one, the original. It's really noticeable. It doesn't feel like it belongs in that universe. It feels like something completely different. And it doesn't help that it's a total load of crap. So, yeah. Everyone in this film, no pun intended, justice is done. from all the actors' roles, the characters, the whole story, all the things he kind of set up in Batman v Superman kind of lead to something in this. And as I said, he sets up some sequels, so it will lead to more stuff. That's how confident he seems to be. And I feel with the force of power that people have put behind getting this created, the fandom, there's a push for this. I think they need to start pushing for the sequel, for this to carry on, because this is a confident return to form return. It's not even a return to form, because let's face it, the DCU didn't even reach any type of form. But this is a return of the confidence that we had at the beginning of some of these characters. When you first saw that trailer for Batman v Superman, you were like, we're going somewhere good here. And then you saw the film and it wasn't. This has reinvigorated that feeling that something good is happening here. And so I'm very excited, actually, and I'm glad that he has set things up for a sequel. And I hope they do continue the DCEU. I want to see Cavill. I want to see Affleck. This film makes Ben Affleck look like he cared. You know? And there's humor in this film as well. We'll just leave it there. There's some humor. It's not Joss Whedon stuff. And let's face it, by the time Justice League rolled around, the original, we were all kind of a bit... The Joss Whedon snips and quips and all this, it's just a bit played out, I think, at this point. His humor and the way his editing style gets sometimes, with his the looks he'll give people, and he films people giving looks and funny little takes and things, and none of that's in this. There is some humor, a few funny lines that mostly delivered by Ben Affleck, but yeah, the general tone of this film is a lot more serious and has a lot more weight to it, considering it's dealing with world-ending events and the coming together of heroic people. It is dealt with a lot more weight, and it also gives a lot more weight to the history of the DCEU and the things that have happened in the past. Zack Snyder is obviously, we all know he's a fan of this stuff. He knows a lot about it. I don't know, maybe he does, I don't know. But you could tell he's a fan. He's done some justice, and no pun intended again. And I would like to see him be given the rest of the DCEU, because let's face it, no one at Warner Brothers has a clue what they're doing with this universe. They can't even keep actors on board. How many times have you seen a story about Ben Affleck is out of the Batman? They're doing another Batman film with Robert Pattinson. They've got another Joker film. I mean, what do we got? What's going on here with the DCU? They need to kind of bring some kind of coherence together, and that's what this is. This is making coherence out of just chaos. So, fair play to Zack Snyder, I say. So much weight behind this film. It feels like, it doesn't feel like Avengers Endgame or Infinity War or anything like that. It's not that level, because we haven't got as much we haven't got the 10 years behind it, even though we do have a number of years behind the DCEU. None of it matters, really. But this helps make some of it matter. It feels to me like, if I had to sort of gauge it, it's on a par with the first Avengers, I think. It's hard to tell, because I was very excited after seeing that, and it felt like a monumental occasion. If this had been released when the first Avengers was, or instead of that, this would be the Marvel universe. This would be what people would be watching, I think. People would be talking about it in the same breath that they talked about Avengers. However, Avengers set the tone and went forward, obviously. I would say this is monumentally better than Age of Ultron. And maybe Civil War. It's hard to tell. It's hard to judge with these things because there's a lot more kind of character development and love and consistency with Marvel and coherence, I guess, as well. However, this does bring a lot of that to it in this 4 hour film. And it is amazing what you could do in 4 hours. It feels like I've watched two movies, yeah, two or three solid films now in one sitting. And it does help that the film is split up into episodes. I don't know if they call them episode. Maybe they do. Act 1, episode. I don't know what they call it. But anyway, they're split up and they've got little title cards come up and have little subheadings or subtitles. And so each section is filmed. I guess you could watch it in parts if you wanted. I'm not interested in that. I'll mission all the way through. Thanks very much. And doing that definitely felt like one hell of an event. I'll be honest. I don't want to get too carried away, but I kind of loved it, I think. Yeah, there's a lot in it that I really enjoyed. And it's so good to finally see Henry Cavill used properly, to finally see Ben Affleck used properly, all the characters. And as I said, the extended lore of the universe. There was a lot more stuff brought in from, that was referenced in Aquaman and Wonder Woman. And so all of these worlds, you get a glimpse of these sort of things in it as well. And so it feels very much more inclusive to the whole world, whereas the original Justice League felt like it was just these dudes, just Batman and six of his mates, and they were the only ones who knew anything about what was happening. This felt very much like there was a whole world going on behind the scenes and the history to it. So yeah, it's expansive. Let's just put it that way. It's expansive, and it's created. I hope it's created more hype now because it's about time. Marvel, we've felt Marvel now. Everyone I would talk to, I think a lot of my friends would say, let's just say me. I'm just talking about me here. Batman, Superman, they are the superheroes. If someone says superhero to me, I think Batman and Superman. Maybe Spider-Man. Obviously now it's all been changed in the last 10 years, with pop culture. So, people think of Iron Man, Thor, a lot more Marvel characters. They've done a good job raising their profiles, I guess, with the films, and we love them. But when I think of superheroes, Batman and Superman are the first, and Wonder Woman potentially. So this is good to see them finally paid homage to with the actors that we like in those roles, because I do like them. And I think now's the time to carry on this world. Now's the time to create more hype going forward into a sequel. So I'll probably leave it there now for the discussion on the film. As I said, I don't want to get into spoilers. It's really hard to talk about a film without spoiling anything. I think I'll move forward into spoilers in this video from here onwards. But as it stands, that's my sort of main feeling about the film. I want a lot more now. I want this universe to go forward. I want the hype train to begin, just to force Warner Brothers into if they can't do it themselves because they're a bunch of cokehead idiots, alleged cokehead idiots, let's do it for them. Let's just drag them into some kind of professional universe where we have people capable of making films like this. Zack Snyder has just proved that he can knock a film out the park. He's done it a bunch of times before, obviously. This is another level. I want this. I want more of this. I want him to be in charge of this. So I guess we'll leave it there for now. And I'm going to go into spoilers. I'm going to talk more about spoilers in a minute. In fact, we'll leave it there. I'll do another video with proper spoilers and I'll get in depth about that. Give people a chance to watch it, I guess. Some of my friends haven't even seen it. So I'll leave it there. A no spoiler video, I'll put that up, and then it could be up on YouTube for no one to watch. Anyway, thank you. Thanks for watching if you did watch it. This is what I thought about Snyder's Cut. What did you think? Comment, like, subscribe, all that crap. I don't know. I've never said that before. I'm not going to start. That's the only time I'm saying it.